Hi guys, for today's video I was asked a question when I put out my very first tweed video. That's when I showcased all four of them and just applied one, and someone asked me, and I can't remember who it was, said, are you going to rank them? And I said yes. Now at that stage I hadn't used all of the tweed palettes, and now I have, but to be honest I can't really rank them. I like them all and they're all quite different. Now in today's video I'm not going to be doing any comparison swatches because the day after this video goes up I am doing a live with Liz from Chicago Law Luxury Makeup, and in that live we are going to be taking requests for comparisons, and if we have other eyeshadow palettes in our collection then we can show the comparisons on that live. We're also going to be doing comparisons of the Chanel 4 range, of the Rouge Allure lipsticks, and we can also do comparisons of the eyeshadow palette that was number 58 Intensity, and we can do comparisons of that as well. So really for today it's just pointing out the differences between the quads and whether I think some perform better than others. And also, as you've probably guessed from the title in this video, I do have a giveaway, and the giveaway is one Chanel tweed palette, but I'll get to that a bit later in the video. So I'm just going to go through the palettes in the numbered order, and I've put them in order in this pile. So we'll start off with this one, and this is number 1, and this is the one Couvre. This is a really beautiful palette. This leans more warm, and this is the color story of it. I'm sure those of you that are following all the tweed videos have already seen this. Now with this eyeshadow palette, this does have a lot of pigment. I think this is a beautiful eyeshadow palette. This is something that I would definitely wear every day. But one of the shadows down here, and I'll just hold it up again, and it's this one here on the bottom right. Now this does have tiny glitter in it, and I'm just going to swatch that on the back of my hand and hopefully you'll be able to see it. So if you don't like little micro glitters in your eyeshadow, then you probably won't like this. But I don't mind them in my eyeshadows, and I've even put the shade right in a corner here, and it doesn't bother me at all. Now I know some people that wear contact lenses, the micro glitters can really cause a nuisance. I do have sensitive eyes, and with some eyeshadows, if there is glitter, especially if it's a bit more chunky, that can cause a bit of irritation. I don't find that at all with this palette. I think this is really beautiful. If you love these type of colors, I think this is a really gorgeous palette. It just depends whether you want the shade with the micro glitter in it or not. I think that the shade is gorgeous, and it just takes the eyeshadow just up that notch. I think it's really, really beautiful. And next is the tweed number 2, and this is Pourpre, and this is the one people that call the purple palette. Now this is the palette when I first got all 4 that I thought I would like the least, but this surprised me. I thought if this is all purple, I'm not really going to like it. I don't own a lot of eyeshadow palettes that have purple in it. For some reason, I just don't like the finished look most of the time, but this palette is beautiful. It leans more towards plum and has pink in it as well. This is a really beautiful eyeshadow palette, and it's the one that I'm wearing today. Now the powders that are in this palette, they're a bit more harder pressed, and you do get a softer look with it. So with today's eye look, to get more pigment from the shadows, I use different brushes. So if you want to get more pigment, and depending how fussy you want to be or the range of brushes that you have, it really just depends. But to get more color on the outer corner with this deepest color here, I stamped in the shadow first using this brush. Now this brush is the Rapha number 12. So you can see that it is more, it's still soft, but it's more densely packed. So I tap it into the eyeshadow and just stamp it in the corner of my eye, and then I grab another brush and just blend it out. And I also blended it up through here as well. And I think that the standout shade in this palette for me is this shade here. This is absolutely beautiful. And the very first time that I used this eyeshadow palette, I found that it seemed at the time that I didn't get much difference with the shades. But the way that I apply it now, using different brushes and applying the shade here, and I'll tell you how I applied this one soon. And I put this finally just through here and up here as well. And you can see the difference. And I think the shade is just absolutely beautiful. Now what I did with it today is that I wouldn't put a wet brush in these eyeshadows because it could make them go hard pan, I'm not sure. But what I did was I grabbed this brush here, and this is my Chukahodo brush. This is the F061, and again it's just a smaller brush, a bit more densely packed, but it is still quite soft. And I just tapped it into the powder, and then I took this setting spray here. I use this one. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And I just hold the brush out. Once I've got the eyeshadow on the brush, just hold the brush out and just spray it. And then I just tapped it on the eyelid. And I think it just helped give a little bit more of the pigment. And today especially, I think you can really see the difference in the colours in the eyeshadow palette that I used. But this is really beautiful. And this would be an everyday eye look for me as well. This isn't one that I would say for the evenings or a special night out. I think this is a really beautiful everyday look. The other thing with this is that I have tried, because I did buy the other day a Chanel eyeliner, and it is a plum one, and I did try that with this, but I still didn't like it. I still like the eyeliner that I used when I first did the video on this eyeshadow palette. And the one that I used is a Sisley one, and it's called the Sparkling Grey. And I've just put a thin line on my upper lash line and a little bit through the lower lash line here. And I think the grey with this colour story looks really beautiful. When I use the plum eyeliner, it's almost as if it's just too much, and I do like a darker eyeliner. It just gives a little bit more definition, but I really love the grey with this pink plum eyeshadow. I think together it looks really, really beautiful. And then there is number 3, and this is the one Fauve. This is a really pigmented eyeshadow palette. I'm just going to tip out the 2 sponge brushes inside. And here is the color story of Fauve. This is really beautiful with the orange and the gold and the brown. This is a really stunning eyeshadow palette. Now the first couple of times that I used this palette, I really wasn't too sure about it. But when I did a video on this one, I just went a lot easier with this burnt orange here. I just put it on just a little bit through here and made the most out of the other colors. And then I thought it just looked absolutely beautiful. I think for you guys that are going to be heading into fall soon, not us, we're heading into spring, I think this is a really beautiful fall palette. And if you like these type of colors, then I highly recommend this one because it just has really beautiful pigment. It's easy to get payoff. You don't have to fiddle around with it in any way, and it blends like a dream. It's just a really beautiful palette. And finally is Tweed number 4, and this is Brunette Rose, and I think this is a lot of people's favorite. Now, if I was going to get a backup tweed, I might get 1 or 2 backup tweeds, but I have heard, I haven't confirmed it, but I've heard through the grapevine that these are going to sell in New Zealand for $185. Well, I think in America they're going to be selling for about $85 each. So even with the exchange rate, that would come to about $140 New Zealand. So if they're going to be $185 each, I don't know where they got that price from, but even at that price, I'd guarantee that they're going to sell out. So let's have a look at this really beautiful color story. This is gorgeous. This has got your browns and your deep browns. It's got the beautiful pink, and you've also got beautiful taupe color in there as well. This is a beautiful everyday palette. This is probably my favorite. But as I was saying, I don't really want to rank these because these are all wearable. I'm not going to just ever use one or two of these palettes and the rest I'll never use, because since I've been doing the videos, I've used all of these palettes for my everyday makeup in between other videos when I've been doing other looks. I think they're all just really beautiful. This shade down here also has a little bit of fallout as well, and just a little bit of glitter. I think this is a gorgeous shade though, and it really just lifts the whole eye look. I think it's really beautiful. So I'm just going to swatch that one on my hand just next to the other one that I swatched. So hopefully you can see that, and it doesn't have quite, I don't think, the little micro glitter as this one, but it definitely has some. You do get a little bit of fallout, but again, if that's an issue, and I haven't tried it with this palette, but I'm sure it'd work just the same. You just tap your brush into that shade, just hold it up and spray your brush with a setting spray and tap it on that way. Not only would you get more pigment, because this is quite a soft eyeshadow palette, but it also might sort of stop it from having that fallout as well. But again, it doesn't bother me. Hasn't bothered me at all with the fallout that's happened. I've used this color not only up through here, but I've also used it on my inner corner as well, and I haven't had any irritation issues. Really, really pretty palette. So it's not going to be long now till you'll be able to buy 1, 2, or maybe even 4 of these gorgeous Tweed palettes. These are going to be available on the 1st of September. And if you go to the Chanel website, there is a tab that you can press for a notification to let you know when these gorgeous palettes are going to be available. I will have that link for you below in the description box. And despite the price point of these, I think that these are going to sell out very, very quickly. So I would definitely go on to the notification if you haven't contacted your SA already, so you are notified as soon as these drop, and then you'll be able to get the palette or palettes that you want. So which palette am I doing for this giveaway? The palette that I am giving away is the one that I am wearing today, and it is number 02, and that is Pourpre. This is a beautiful eyeshadow palette. I was very surprised by it. It didn't throw too much purple. It just has that really beautiful sort of more plums and the pinks, and with the grey eyeliner, I think that this palette is just absolutely stunning. So this is an international giveaway. All of the rules I will have listed in the description box below. There are just a couple of things. You need to be subscribed to my channel, and that subscription needs to be public so I can see that you are subscribed. If you're not sure whether yours is or how to do that, I will have how to do it listed in the description box below. The other thing is that you follow me on Instagram. I know not everyone has an Instagram account, and if you don't have an Instagram account, that's fine, but just please let me know in the comments section below. And the last thing for this giveaway is that I need you to comment that you want to be entered in this giveaway. And as part of the rules for this giveaway, I'd also like you to comment whether you are getting the Tweeds or if you're not getting the Tweeds. And if you are, which ones are you hoping to get your hands on? And this giveaway is going to be open for 2 weeks. It's going to be open a little bit longer than the giveaway that's just finished. And the reason for that is that the Tweeds aren't going to be released for a few days yet. And there may be some eyeshadow palettes that some people couldn't get their hands on, and this will give them a chance to enter and a chance to win this really beautiful Tweed eyeshadow palette. So the closing date for this giveaway will be the 11th of September. Just one more thing with this giveaway is that sometimes scammers come out of the woodwork. Now, when I draw the winner for this, I will put who's won on my community page, on my YouTube channel, and also my Instagram stories. Those are the only two ways that I will announce who the winner is. I will not be contacting anyone via WhatsApp or any other random app. So I just have to say that because it hasn't happened to me, but I know of other content creators where they've had giveaways and the scammers have got in and contacted people via something like a WhatsApp and said that they've won. So I just want to make that really, really clear. So thank you to everyone who has supported my channel since I began and also my recent subscribers. I really appreciate it. And I hardly ever mention this, but I also really appreciate those people that have been using my links. Any money that I make from those links goes straight back into the channel and purchasing more beautiful products for me to review. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.